So after we did one of our videos, we're getting a lot of comments on HOAs and sometimes the neighbors. Stick around to the end of the video while we'll discuss both things in detail. Hi, my name is Michael Smith. Some people call me Smitty. I'm a real estate agent in the greater Phoenix area, Scottsdale and Paradise Valley. In today's video, we're going to talk about something that comes up, especially in HOAs, and especially on top of that layer, 55 plus communities. In many 55 plus communities, the difference between that and a regular HOA is the people. The difference in many of these communities that are 55 plus versus just a standard HOA is the fact that there's many people who are retired, and a lot of these people have time on their hands and they have nothing else to look at or do, and many of them are actually pretty lonely. So in a conversation with a colleague who did a recent sale in a 55 plus community, we were talking about some of the stories, and she brought up the fact that she had a sale where a nosy neighbor from next door kept coming over, watching the cars that would pull up in front of the home. He would go up and try to talk to the people before they entered or when they were exiting the property. He would also go to every open house. He'd catch people in the side rooms, maybe in one of the bedrooms, and he'd start talking about the people negatively and things about the house that he didn't like. So now the home isn't selling real quick and everybody's wondering what's happening, and the only way they could get the home sold was to drop the price. So the sale finally goes through. The agent's over at the house picking up her sign. She's out in the front yard, and the neighbor comes over and he says, "Hey, why is the price so low? Why did you sell it? You just hurt my property value." And her answer to him was, "No, I didn't hurt your property value. You hurt everybody's property value. Every person that came over to this home that was interested in buying it got negative feedback from you. Therefore, we had to go with the people that gave us the best offer, and it was a lower offer because of all your negativity. So the problem is yours, not ours. We sold it for the highest price we could, and of course, as a real estate agent, she gets paid on commission, so she would be motivated to sell it for more money." So is that an HOA or a neighbor thing? Well, it's definitely a neighbor thing and not an HOA thing. When you go into a community, let's just say we were looking at a funnel, and at the top of the funnel was the property. Lower in the funnel was the HOA and the rules surrounding that piece of property. And then down at the bottom of the funnel would be the neighbors. If you filter on down, when you get negative feedback on a property or you get negativity around a property, it comes from the neighbors. The HOA doesn't really get involved at that point. People, of course, after they've lived there, they've got their own idea of what the HOA rules and regulations are, but in general, it's more about the neighbors not liking the people. Maybe they didn't like the car they were driving. Maybe they didn't like that they had family with them. There's a number of things that could bother the neighbors when a new owner comes in. And another thing that happens quite often is the fact that maybe you live next to a neighbor that was always quiet, and the neighbors really always got music going on, and they got a lot of activity in the backyard, including a pet that likes to bark every time they hear a noise. So yeah, they're going to refer to the HOA rules and regulations if it's a pet or something, and they may keep complaining constantly about the noise. But people have the right to use their home as they like, and within reason, to play music in the backyard. Maybe they like to sit outside in this beautiful Arizona weather and watch TV. If you don't like that and you have your windows open and you're going to complain about that, you're going to have a problem living next to that person. Those are the kind of things that happen in these communities, and many of the feedback we're getting on some of our videos are all about the HOA. And really it comes down to the people. The people more than the HOA in many instances. Don't get me wrong, don't buy in an HOA community if you don't like the rules that they have out there, especially when it comes to grandchildren and visitors and how long they can stay and using all the amenities. But picking your neighbor is much harder when you come in to buy a property. All you can do is knock on a few doors, ask the neighbors how they like the community, get a feel for the neighbor you may be living next to before you purchase. Because after you purchase, you're stuck. And if you guys can't get along, or one or the other get a bad attitude toward the other, it's going to be a miserable living experience. So anyway, comment below if you think that HOAs are the problem, or maybe it's just the people. Tell us and share some of your experiences. We appreciate you watching. Take a look at some of our other videos. The easiest way to search through them is by the playlist. We have a lot of stuff out there that people actually don't find it because we put it out a little while ago. Like the channel if you would. That's how people find us on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in.